All right, in this video, we're going to talk about a very important principle that governs all the physics that we do, and this is the idea of conservation of energy. So when we're talking about conservation of energy, we have to talk about having a system. A system can be a series of particles, objects, or various other things. So this video is going to talk a little bit about this in the abstract, just to get you a sense of what this looks like. Now, it's an experimental fact that if we look at the change in energy of a system and add to that the change of everything outside of the system, this is probably somewhat obvious, that change is equal to 0. So if we're looking at a system and we have some surroundings, which I'll abbreviate as SURR, the sum of those changes is 0. That is, there's a finite amount of energy in the system and the surroundings, and it can be exchanged back and forth, but it does not leave that system plus surroundings in any way. And so what this gives you is a sense that the energy change of the system is related to the negative change of the energy in the surroundings. That is, energy can move between the systems and the surroundings. Whatever's accounted for as moving out has to be reflected in the system. This guy right here is actually the work that's done by the surroundings plus the heat that's exchanged with the system. And so what we have is actually a very general principle. The change in energy of the system is equal to the work that's done by the surroundings plus the heat that's exchanged. So let's take a couple of examples. So let's say I have some system that I've defined, and that the energy that's exchanged is such that there is work that is done by the surroundings, or heat, thermal energy, that is dumped into the system. In that case, this is a situation where the system's energy will increase. So when work is done by the surroundings on the system, or when thermal energy is dumped into the system, there is a positive change in the system's overall energy. On the other hand, if you have a system where there is work that's done by the system, or thermal energy that is taken out of the system, the overall system's energy will go down. There will be a negative change in the energy of the system. So these two conceptual ideas, work that's done on the system or by the surroundings, or heat that is exchanged, thermal energy dumped into the system, leads to a positive change in the energy of the system. Whereas work that's done by the system, or heat, thermal energy that leaves the system and goes into the surroundings, leads to a negative change in the total energy of the system. This guy right here, we call the energy principle. And it's the most general form of the idea of conservation of energy. That is, the change in energy of the system is equal to the negative change in energy of the surroundings. So we'll talk a little bit more about this in detail in other videos this week.